Good morning, everyone, and welcome to yet another awesome session of Mindful Living. We truly appreciate your taking out time and joining us this Saturday morning. Your investment of time in this session reflects that you are seriously keen on improving the quality of your life, and it is my promise to you that the next 90 minutes will definitely prove to be a good investment of your time. Allow me to begin by asking you a few questions. And please type why wherever it resonates with you. The question applies to you. And feel free to type why as many times as you would like to. Are you ambitious, striving to grow into leadership roles? Type why if you are ambitious and wanting to grow into leadership roles. Do you struggle to balance savings, investments, and spending? Do you want to create wealth while enjoying life? Please keep typing why. Do you find it difficult to manage stress, work-life balance, and navigate workplace conflicts? Yeah, thank you very much for your enthusiastic responses. Do you feel that you aren't making the most of networking opportunities that are available to you? And if you are networking, you're not sure how to leverage your connections effectively? Are you keen on improving your interpersonal skills, developing emotional quotient, and leadership skills? Yes, thank you. Thank you for your responses. Let them keep coming in. Do you worry about stagnating in your current role, looking for strategies to stand out and move up in the ladder? Are you curious and growth oriented, keen on learning to stay competitive in an environment that is changing very, very fast? Friends, let your responses keep coming in. And if your answer to any of these questions is yes, any one or more of these questions is yes, I'm very happy to share that you are at the right place at the right time, because what we are going to be sharing with you today is a very solid framework, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga, which you can use to turbocharge your career. And what do these goddesses represent is what we are going to understand in the session, and how can we apply the wisdom from these three, from this trinity of goddesses into our lives and prosper and grow and have fulfilling lives. One of my teachers used to say that it is knowledge that helps us get from where we are to where we want to go. Is that correct? Do you think that is a knowledge is the solution to all the problems that we face in our life? If you agree with that, please type Y in the chat. Think of any problem, whether it is a global problem, a problem at the country level or at the organization level or at a personal level. What we need to go is knowledge to go from where we are to where we want to go. And that is what I'm so happy that you have taken out time to invest, to increase your knowledge and move forward in the direction of your goals. For the benefit of those who are joining for the first time, I'll take a minute or two to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018 as a company which focuses on training and coaching leaders in corporate organizations on principles based on mindfulness. Prior to starting Mindful Living, I worked in senior positions for over 25 years and corporates with companies like Xerox, Tata AIA Life, Future Generali, Marsh, HCL Healthcare, and Healthcare at Home. By education, I am an MBA from SIBM Pune, a cost and works accountant, and fellow of Life Management Association, USA. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation teacher. I've done my Train the Trainer certification, and I'm a certified coach. I'm I actively coach and mentor students of IIM Nagpur, and recently I turned an author with the publication of my first book, Beyond Limits: Stories That Inspire. So, friends, that's my introduction in brief. Uh, in 2020, in April 2020, we set up Mindful Living Community. Few of my friends reached out to me and requested me to conduct a mindfulness meditation session because those were very stressful times, and they were struggling to deal with the anxiety that the lockdown had caused. So over a weekend, few of my friends, about 8-10 of them, got together and I conducted a session on mindfulness for them. They found it useful, the word spread, and today we are a vibrant community of thousands of members who have come together to practice living consciously and support each other. We don't advertise about the work that we do. The only way you can join our community is when somebody invites you to join. And today I invite you with open arms and an open heart to become a part of this Mindful Living WhatsApp community, which is a community of professionals who are wanting to live consciously and elevate their life to a new level. You can scan the QR code given on the left to join the WhatsApp community. And in case you would like to access our sessions, the previous sessions, more than 200 videos on our YouTube channel on how to live healthy, happy, and wealthier lives, you can scan the QR code of our WhatsApp channel. So friends, that's a brief backdrop before we dive into our session for today. And we begin by understanding the challenges that we face today. We live in a very fast paced environment, and most of the professionals are buried in anxiety, panic, overwhelm. We have someone coming and saying that we should be working 70 hours. Another one says we should be working 90 hours, leaving very little space for our own selves, for our families. Uh, and even though we may be working 70 or 90 hours in a week, what is frustrating is seeing less qualified people growing in their business and career, even while we are working very, very hard. And it gets even more it rubs even more badly when we see that other people like us are progressing in their careers and we have no idea of what they are doing and how they are growing, and we see people who have half our experience making double the income. So this is how life is for most of the people. And I worked in the corporate sector, and I went through a similar situation. And what I discovered was that people who are struggling like this, who have these challenges, haven't made the shifts that are required to grow. And during the course of my career, I started observing what the high achievers were doing. What is it that they were doing differently? And I understood that there was something different about the people who were more successful, who were getting promoted, who were getting more lucrative assignments, how they handle pressure, how they speak, how they carry themselves. Those are the things I observed. And I found that even though these people would leave at 6 p.m., they come at 9, leave at 6, play cricket on the weekends, and handle the conflicts and stress, they were getting ahead. And here I was working like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., no fun, and getting crushed in the office. And when I realized that what were the things that these people were doing, and I started implementing them, my career trajectory started moving differently. And this is what I would like to share with you. What happens when you learn what those things are and you implement in your life? So I urge you to grab a notepad and a pen and take notes as we speak. What are the things these people do differently? And once you make these shifts, you will find that you will unlock financial growth. You will have strategies in place which will not only increase your income in a year, that will put in place a system that will ensure that your income keeps growing year on year. I have implemented this and I paid the highest income tax in my life in the latest financial year that just concluded. You will be able to save enough for your kids' college education, create a pool for your own retirement, have time to spend with your loved ones, have an exotic lifestyle, travel the world, have things which you truly deserve. And the good news is what we have put together for you is this three-pronged strategy, which you can put in place, which is simple but very effective, and you can have the similar experience and grow your career in 2025 and beyond. I was talking about the qualities that the divine trinity of goddesses represent. And Lakshmi ji represents, she's the goddess of wealth. She represents wealth, abundance, and prosperity. And we will discuss how, following simple principles in your life, you can achieve financial success and abundance in your life. Goddess Saraswati represents wisdom, a growth mindset, how to develop your skills that will help you grow professionally. And Durga is the goddess of emotions, how you can understand your own emotions, understand the emotions of other people, connect with them better, and really build strong relationships and develop your emotional quotient and become a very successful leader. If this is sounding exciting, please type BIO, bring it on, and I'll be happy to share this framework with you. Please type bring it on, BIO, if this framework is sounding exciting to you. Thank you, Dayalji. Thank you, Vipul. Thank you, Manojji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I request everybody to type. Thank you, Mansukh. Thank you, Vipasha. Thank you, Kanchana. All right, all right. Thank you, friends. Let your responses keep coming in. Stay actively engaged to make the most of your time. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. Keep your cameras on so that we can be actively engaged, and use the reactions button. Show some love, thumbs up if you like something. We will open up the session for question and answers at each section break and towards the end also. But remain actively engaged and keep commenting. And if you have any questions or comments to make, use the virtual raise hand so that I can pick you up and we can have our conversation. So starting with Lakshmi. Lakshmi ji is very important and one of the top causes of stress for professionals who work in corporates. I am not saying this. This is PwC's PricewaterhouseCoopers Employee Financial Wellness Survey from 2023. This is the latest survey that is available, and PwC has been doing this survey for many years. You can go and Google for it and check, whether you look at 2020, 2021, 22, 23, this number has remained around 57, 58% or so. So finance has continued to be one of the top causes of stress for people, for the working professionals. And this stress has a significant impact on the sleep, on the mental health, self-esteem of a person, physical health, and relationships at home. Whether you are an individual contributor, team leader, or a leader in the organization, you should be concerned about your own financial well-being and the financial well-being of your team because it has so much of impact. And what we're going to see today is very simple strategies, which I learned with the help of my friend Avdesh and my own research. When I was, I'm an MBA in finance, and but the things I learned about personal financial management are not taught in college. I learned corporate finance. What they taught me in college was how to manage the company's money. They never taught me how to manage my money. And as a result of that, I landed up making a couple of very expensive mistakes. And one day I went crying to my friend Avdesh, Avdesh, what have I done? And, with his help and, with my own research, I gradually put a system in place, which ensures that I have money whether I work or I don't work, whether I live or I don't live, my family will have enough money to get by in their life comfortably. And this also, while I was in the job, I had this fear that what अगर मेरी नौकरी चली जाएगी तो मैं अगले महीने का ईएमआई कैसे पे करूंगा? हाउ विल आई टेक केयर ऑफ माई फैमिली, बिकॉज आई एम द सोल ब्रेड विनर ऑफ द फैमिली. So I always had this the worry. And when I didn't have the right mindset, I started my job, I soon ran out of the money, and my checks started bouncing. This is something I've mentioned in my book also. So this was the period, before I learned about how important personal financial management is, and how simple it is, because once you get grasp of it, your life trajectory completely takes change. And the basic simplest rule of personal finance is the golden rule. It is referred to as the golden rule: is income minus savings is expenses. You first set a target, you set first a financial goal of what you want to achieve, put money aside for that, and then started saving. In my parents' time, this was automatic because there were no credit cards. Personal loans were not so easily available. And by culture, or by the environment, they would always save money and then spend the balance. But today, because of easy availability of credit card, the income and spending have been delinked. My income could be 100, but I could be spending 200 because I've got easy access to credit cards, and that is disastrous. And in the workshop that we have put together, it's very difficult to cover in 90 minutes all of these in detail. And hence, we have put together a workshop for you in which we are going to delve deep into how to do this, how to budget your expenses, how to whether working on growing income is more practical, or working on expense control is more practical, how to track expenses, how to control expenses, which are the expenses you should control, which are the expenses you can let go of. Does this mean cutting down on your life or life standard? All of those things. The behavioral part of personal finance is what we are going to discuss in the workshop. But one takeaway that I would like you to have from today is that credit card is to personal finance what smoking is to our health. It's the same effect, the bad effect that credit cards have on our personal health. Either cut your credit card and throw it away, or at least restrict the use. Or even if you're using, because some people tell me I use it for the points, but if you're using it for the points, please ensure you're making 100% of the payment. And if you're rolling over your credit card, there is something wrong that is happening. You're putting your prosperity away. You're putting achievement of your financial goals away. So think about it. Be mindful of what your spend is. Be mindful of what your income is, and manage that. And that is those are trackers that we share with you in the workshop that we have. And this triangle is the solid triangle for financial planning. Pyramids are considered to be the most solid structure, most stable structure in the world. The pyramids have been standing for 3,000 to 5,000 years. When you apply the same concept to your financial planning, then you find that the structure that you will create is so solid that it will help your family in all times to come. And the base of the pyramid is by protection for yourself. And there is no, okay, let me first buy life insurance first, buy health insurance second, buy cybersecurity insurance, disability insurance, home insurance, whatever you want to buy. But start with life insurance first, And if you already have, get in touch with a financial planner and evaluate if you have got adequate amount of it. This way, I have ensured that whether I live or not live, my family will always have the money. They are protected. In the absence of life insurance or health insurance, God forbid, if something unwanted happens, your life savings can go like this, and poof, all will disappear. So, and typically financial planners will come and say, oh, what's your goal? Children's education, children's marriage, retirement. Okay, we do this amount. They will do some fancy calculation. They'll talk to you about time value of money. They'll talk to you about inflation and say, invest in mutual funds, best asset class. They will get you started. And with pride, they will say, I only do mutual funds. I don't sell insurance. I feel like really kicking those people who don't do this complete financial planning with people. Any financial planning has to have component of insurance in it. So if you have a financial planner, please get in touch with them. If you don't have, please DM me and I'll help you put in touch with people who are genuine, who care for you, and will put a good protection plan in place for you. That is number one. Once you have done this, the next priority is creating an emergency fund. Okay. Emergency fund at the bare minimum should cover 3 months of expenses, bare minimum. And at the top end, it should cover 2 years. In my 30 years of career, I have never ever seen anybody being out of job for more than 2 years. Mostly if something untowards happen, layoffs happen, 3 to 6 months is what takes people to get another job. So 3 months is basic, and you can keep adding to it. And there are many other nuances to it, whether you're a single earner or you have two income sources, so you can calibrate your emergency fund. But basically, once, and this is a concept I learned from Dave Ramsey, and he says something very profound. When you have an emergency fund, emergency does not happen. And that is because, our brain is so tuned, we are so comfortable, we are so confident that come what may, I can deal with any situation. The emergency never happens. This is something which I did personally when I started my business. I took a loan from my Jeevan Shree life insurance policy. I gave my wife money for 1 year, and then I didn't have the worry to provide for the expenses while I was building my business, and then it went off. So that's the other use of insurance. It can fund in your emergency expenses, especially if you have taken an endowment policy. A term policy will not have any surrender value, but an endowment will have. I'm not getting into the nuances, but this is broadly speaking high level. Second is create an emergency fund, minimum 3 months of expenses it should cover. Once you have done these two, then you start working on your financial goals like retirement, children's education, etc. And do mutual funds, do real estate, do gold, do alternative investment funds, whatever you want to do is after this. So this is the second strategy. Okay. The third is how rich keep getting richer. Are you interested in knowing how rich keep getting richer and how poor stay poor? If you're interested in knowing, please type Y. Thank you, Vipasha. Are you interested in knowing how rich keep getting richer and why poor stay poor? Yeah, thank you, Dayalji. Thank you, Vipul. Anybody else? Thank you, Manojji. Mansukh, Kanjana, Abhishek, Anjana, AB, Abdul. Please be active. Please be active. That's how you will make the most of your time here that you've invested in the session today. So this is a formula which I learned from Robert Kiyosaki, and this is brilliant. And what he says is how rich keep getting richer is by using their income to create assets which create more income. So this is a virtuous upward growing spiral. You have income, you create assets which create income, and then you have more income. And that's how rich keep getting richer and richer. This is very simple, and you don't have to turn anything, don't have to do anything drastic, but you start moving in that direction. And then, you will find that you will keep getting richer and richer. How poor keep getting poorer? They spend whatever they earn in meeting their expenses. And if they're not able to meet their expenses, they take loans and they, stay poor. So for example, if they earn 100 rupees, they will spend 100 rupees. And if their expense is 20 rupees, because they have not saved, they have not created assets, they will take loan. And next month they have that 100 rupees has to pay that 20 rupees loan also. So that way they stay poor. And that is very simple. And once I realized this, now, I have put a very solid structure in place which ensures my income is increasing month on month. Another aspect related to this, which I learned, is the rich and successful are different from the poor because they focus on their net worth, on their assets, not on their income so much. The difference is, if you look at the top 500 richest people in the world, what their ranking is basis their assets. $100 billion, 200, $300 billion. That's not their income, that's their assets. But we are worried about our income, we are worried about our increment that I am getting, whether I got 10%, other somebody else got 5%, somebody else got 15%. We are forever fretting about the income and the increments. We are not so much, we are not really talking about the assets which people have created, whereas rich have understood that the game is about creating assets. So that is another major difference, and these are the things which I learned, and this is what we are put together for you in the workshop: how to build financial security for yourself using the key principles of financial planning and security. How can you manage your personal finance effectively and become financially free? And one of the things we talk about is the financial freedom quotient. What is your passive income and what is your expense and what is that ratio? And then you can judge whether you're ready to step on, or how do you manage setting realistic financial goals. Sometimes, I coach people, they are at X level of income and they want to go to 10X. That doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. But because they're earning so less, they are, they're desperate to, the minute they start setting goals, they want to set goals which is like very, very high, and then it sets them up for failure. So what are realistic goals? How can you set strategies to achieve them? What are the challenges corporate professionals face? How to create a financial plan, how to manage debt, what is a good debt, what is a bad debt, what should be your debt repayment strategy, what is a golden rule. We have discussed. We get into more details about this. How to create emergency fund, what are the instruments to use, investment strategies for long-term security, and the last but not the least is asset allocation. Many of us are, focused on investing in the highest return asset. Typically, when you meet somebody who's a financial planner, you will ask, यार सबसे ज्यादा पैसा कहाँ मिल रहा है, सबसे ज्यादा रिटर्न कहाँ मिल रहा है, ये हम पूछते हैं उसको. But more than the return, what will determine your prosperity over a period of time is asset allocation. How much money you're putting in equities, how much you're putting in debt, how much in real estate, how much in gold, how much in currencies, and so on and so forth. That asset allocation, there is a formula for it and there is a way to do it that determines your prosperity over a period of time. And I'll share some personal examples with you when we meet into the workshop, how I have used it, how my parents, what I learned from my father, how he ensured our financial well-being over the generation. So this is the Lakshmi part, and I'll pause here to see if this is making sense for you. If there are any takeaways for you, thank you, Manojji. Manojji is a very senior chartered accountant, a very senior corporate professional. If he's showing thumbs up, I am grateful. Thank you so much, Manojji. Uh, so I would like to pause here for 1 or 2 minutes for you to reflect on what we have discussed and then share with me your takeaways either by using the raise hand and I would like to hear from you, or type in the chat what have been your takeaways so far. Take a minute or two, that is okay, but please do share. It's important for us that we capture, we take the learnings from this and then implement them. Yes, Deyalji.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like we should have a couple of months savings. It's a financial is a trap. Like, we may be planning in so many ways. I have been following all these, but somewhere you get trapped. Sometimes you're out of income, and sometimes it's difficult to this thing. There's no alternative to taking loans. Like talking about credit cards, I've been using for years together. If it is rightly, it's an asset. If it is not, then it is a complete liabilities, complete washout. I remember once I just took my credit for 1 month, only for 1 lakh rupees. They charged me 4,500 rupees just for 1 month. So I have to fight with them. I don't understand why RBI allows these such exorbitant charges. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But and there's a Peter like currently I am facing like I'm up to the neck now. Like maybe whatever loans or for some purpose. But somewhere the situation comes like very dicey, and I can't. I'm the one person never borrow from anybody up till now.
Yeah,
Mm.
sure. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Dayalji. And that is the reason, in the workshop, you're going to talk about debt reduction strategies, how to manage expenses, how to manage income, what is more practical, why do we spend the way we spend, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be a little bit more in depth. And I appreciate your sharing this very, very
Okay,
honestly. Yeah,
okay, that's the core issue of the.
thank you, Dayalji. Yes, Anjana.
Yeah, I think one thing which comes out very clearly from the talk here and from what I've personally experienced,
Anjana,
discipline.
could you speak a little louder? Yeah,
Just a minute, let me just move
yeah, it's
to.
better now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, discipline and understanding what your basic requirements are.
Yeah.
Right? We all assume that we have some we we can live with the basics, but we don't understand that we can do that.
Mhm.
So understanding what the basics are, and like you said, providing for it and setting up an expense for it.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
we always believe that, in today's world, like, you have assets, like you have one house, two house, you upgrade, it's fantastic because people can say, oh wow, you have two houses. Little do they realize that both these houses are bought on EMIs. So rather than have two houses on EMIs, it's better to have one house debt free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very important to understand these, and a lot of times, like you said, nobody teaches us. I was
Yeah.
lucky to
Yeah.
have somebody who actually, you know, told me some things about 10, 12 years ago,
Mm.
which helped me in my financial
Yeah.
planning. And today, I do that to as many people I can,
Very nice.
to just tell them that, yeah, I mean, it is possible to stand on your own feet, be independent, and not have so much concern.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's very well said, Anjana. In absence of proper education, we go to our friends and family, and I have seen families where because the father or some of their friends are invested in stock market, their 100% investment goes into stock market. Somebody is 100% into real estate. Somebody is 100% into gold because traditionally that's their network, whether it's family or friends. I've been doing that, so we just copycat there. But that's not the ideal way to do it, as you rightly said. One needs a professional advice to do that, and once you do that, the picture completely changes. Thank
And
Yes, yes, Manoj.
just
Yeah.
yeah, so good morning all once again. So I'll take quickly one thing. I think we need to understand the difference between investment and insurance. Presently, this is where insurance people come. They say they are giving insurance, but actually investment, but they make a lot of money out of that.
Mm.
So what like SEG just informed, like said us the basic insurance of like term insurance and other things or health insurance. And normally they get it like you get a money back and all that. But if you're doing investment, go for 100% investment plan. If you're going for insurance, go for 100% insurance and no money back. And that is how we can sustain those policies for long term.
Yeah.
So I
Thank you.
thought of adding that.
Surely, surely, Manoj. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Vipul, for your comment. Yes, yes, Vipasha, over to you.
So for me, it should be a takeaway which reflects on setting up unrealistic goals. So usually, consistent in your practice motivates you. Now, 2025 is here, and we all want to become very fit. We want to become a certain level, but then we are not breaking it down into small little actions that we should be. So I'll just give a very small example. If tomorrow I have to wake up at 5, I need to sleep at 8 at least, so that I can wake up at 5. But we sleep at 12 and we expect our future selves to wake up at 5, which is not fair for us. So I think that is one thing that we must focus on. So present, taking charge of present will reflect on your future, and you don't have to really worry about your future goals then, because your future is all in control because your present is in control now.
Beautiful, beautiful, very powerful. Thanks for sharing that, Vipasha. And Anjana, in case you notice the surname, you know where she's
I
coming
do. I was just going to ask. Is it Sudeshna's daughter? But I guess, and the way she speaks, I think even if you don't see her face, it sort of resonates.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even if
Pasha.
my surname is not there, I guess the way I speak, everybody will say that Arshi Sudeshna's daughter.
Good, good, good. Thank you. So we'll move on now. We have done first part, which is Lakshmi, and now we will move on to the next part, which is Saraswati. And we will see how this is very important for us. And this is one quote which I came across a couple of years back. You will be the same person in 5 years as you are today, except for the people you meet and the books you read. So beautiful. And this is the segue into Saraswati and Durga for us. And one thing I would like to share with you while we are discussing these as Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga, in many ways they are interconnected, and we will see how the interconnections happen. So I would like to begin by sharing that the most important asset that we have is our ability to earn, and that ability to earn is largely determined by our knowledge levels. And this is one of my favorite quotes by Jim Rohn. Formal education will make you a living, whereas self-education will make you a fortune. Till I started on my own, um, every money that was spent on my education was either by my parents who paid for it or by companies who helped put me through different training programs. But say since 2018, I have been investing in my own education, and that has truly helped me make a fortune. I've invested over 20 lakh rupees in the last 6 years in my own education, and I'm earning many, many times on that. And it is not only my personal experience. HBR, Harvard Business School, says that continuing in your education is a valuable investment in your career. By staying current with the industry trends, developing new skills, expanding your network, you can position yourself for success and achieve your career goals. McKinsey says that 87 of the percent of the companies say that they have skill gaps or expect to have and within the next few years. What they are trying to say is the people who are there and the skills they have can't meet the future requirements that are coming up. As I mentioned earlier, the world is changing at a very fast pace, and if we are not upgrading ourselves, if we are not upskilling ourselves, then we are at a risk. We'll be like dinosaurs, will just be wiped out. So it is very important for us to keep investing in ourselves. And there are many business leaders, who have made this a practice of continuously investing in their own education. In the center, you see Warren Buffett, who's one of the top 10 richest people in the world. He started out by selling newspapers on a bicycle. And whatever he would earn by selling newspapers, he used to buy stocks. Now, think of this in the context of what Robert Kiyosaki said. The rich use their income to create assets that create more income. And that is exactly what Warren Buffett was doing when he was 12 years old. And he's like 92 years old. Last 80 years, he has created a wealth of more than $100 billion, and 98% of that he is given away also. That's another matter. But earning, sometimes we think मेरे तो इतना कम कमा रहा हूँ, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है. बट वो जो न्यूज़पेपर बेच के साइकिल पे जो कमा रहे थे, उससे स्टॉक खरीद रहे थे, and he is worth more than $100 billion today. Self-made billionaire in one generation. That's the thing that he has done, and he has been able to do it by learning about how to invest. He learned, he kept investing, and he is over a period of time become rich. Somebody asked him, why do people not get rich? Is it because it's difficult? He says, no, it's not difficult. They're not patient. This is a patience game. This requires work to be done. On his left is Charlie Munger, his partner. And Charlie Munger jokingly says that my grandkids think that I'm a book with legs, because every time they see me, I have a book in front of my face, and there is this body and there is leg. So they think I'm a book with legs. So he used to read so much. He's no more now. And Bill Gates is famously known for taking 15 days off every year where he buries himself with books and he reads. You can go to his blog and check out his recommendations of the favorite books every year that he publishes. So leaders are business leaders. McKinsey is saying that Harvard Business Review is saying that in my own experience, when I had one boss who would work as hard as any one of us, and then at night he would, spend 1 or 2 hours updating himself, reading, and it was such a pleasure interacting with him because he would always have a different perspective, and you would always like to take him for client calls because when he speaks, he speaks so differently. And I'm sure you have such people in your lives who are investing in their education, and their quality of conversations, their quality of thinking is very, very different. Okay, let me ask you one question. This is not a trick question. You can use your calculators. How many hours we have in a year? In 1 year, how many hours do we have? Use your calculators and type in the chat. In 1 year, how many hours do we have? Use your calculators and type in the chat. It shouldn't take so long. How many? Okay, Dayalji, I'll wait for others to respond. How many hours do we have in 1 year? In one day, we have 24 hours. So how many hours do we have in 1 year? Use your calculators. In one day, we have 24 hours. How many days in a year? 365. 8,760, Anjana. Thank you. I need few more responses. Yes, thank you, Vipul. 8,760 hours is the correct answer. Okay. And Vipul has very kindly shared the formula also. Yes, yes, correct. So now my question is, out of the 8,760 hours, and there is no right or wrong answer, this is not a trick question. How many hours do you think we should invest in our learning and development? Out of the 8,760 hours that we have in a year, 720 hours, thank you very much, Dayalji. That's about 2 hours every day, okay? How much? How many? 200 hours, thank you, Manojji. 600 hours, okay? Whatever you are saying is right for you, okay? There's no right or wrong answer. But what is important for us, and I would like to have this, you to have this as a takeaway today, that out of the 8,760 hours that we have in 2025, or less 11 days, how many hours out of these 8,760 hours are you going to invest in your own learning and development? And you have seen, the trajectory that people have had when they have invested in their own learning and development. And when you do that, your life completely changes. It becomes effortless. It becomes smooth. And one of the things which I hear from people often is, where do we have the time to study? But it's kind of counterintuitive. If you find time to study, you will have more time. If you don't find time to study, it will always remain a struggle. And so it is for many people. And one of the things that I learned about from a very successful banker on how to find time for what is important is to schedule that. So whether it is 1 hour a day, which is 52 hours, 365 hours in a month, in a year, or 1 hour a week, which is 52 hours in a year, whatever is this, you schedule that in your calendar. uh, Everybody has some me time over a week. It's somebody would have it on a Saturday night, Friday night, Sunday morning, whatever that me time is. You put 1 hour a day or 1 hour a week. Schedule that this is my time which I'm going to learn, invest in my own learning and development. Whether it is a course you want to sign up for, whether it is something you want to read or whatever. Typically, a certification course will take 20 to 40 hours. So in 1 year, you can easily complete one, two, or three, depending on what course you're signing up for. And those certifications add so much to your profile. And especially in times like this, when the world is changing so fast, we need to be kind of paranoid. I'm not a fan of being paranoid, but this is one area where we need to be paranoid about learning as much as we can, really in relation to the work that you're doing or the work that you want to do in future. So decide what you want to do, set aside time for that at the beginning of the year. That is one of the biggest favors that you can do to yourself and to somebody else. Sometimes we think that oh, world is changing, but मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला, मैं तो ठीक हूँ, मैं तो I'm secure. But that is like being a pigeon who closes the eyes in front of a cat. Sooner or later, the cat will come and pounce. Recently I got talking to a very senior Amex official who was laid off after 15 years in Amex. When you have had such a cushy job and you laid off, then it's very difficult to deal with that kind of situation. So it's very important for us to constantly keep investing in our own development and inventing and reinventing themselves. So in the second module of the workshop, we are going to discuss about the impact of investing in our intellectual development on the career longevity, how intellectual growth is key for personal and professional success, how to future-proof your career, how to deal with the stuff like overwhelm. What are the consequences of intellectual stagnation if you're not investing in your own learning? What happens? How to invest? What are the strategies? Whether you can learn formal, is formal education the only way, or you can do informally? What are the advantages and disadvantages? And last but not the least, creating a personal development plan for yourself for 2025, which you can then implement and take your career for on a sustainable growth trajectory. Friends, there's little, we are short of time, so I'll move on to the next one, which is Durga, the goddess of emotions and connections. And now consider what I am saying. Immediately after discussing Saraswati, we are saying it's not what you know, it's who you know. It does not mean that what you know is not important, but what this means is what you know will be irrelevant if you don't know the right people. So you need to have this combination of good knowledge and good connections to be able to move forward in your life. So Durga is about infinite power of connections, infinite power of emotions, and the importance of being emotionally intelligent. And the rich, I spoke about how rich and successful think differently about investing. And now I'm talking about in the context of Durga, that they focus on their network, and that network then decides their net worth, because there are so many opportunities which get opened up due to the part of the network that we are in. And I'll share many personal examples in the workshop, how I have benefited from the network, and some I'll share here also. During the course of my career, I worked with 9 different companies, and of those, 6 assignments came to me by virtue of my knowing some people in my network. That's how that opened the doors. And it's been 6 years now for me in my business. 100% of my business has come to me through references. There is not one single cold call I have made in last 6 years. So that is the power of network. And that is because when you are operating in your network, you go with some credibility. When somebody gives you a favorable introduction, the sale has already happened or the credibility has already been established. You don't have to do that for yourself. And whether I am buying something or I am hiring someone, I always go through my network. And I'm sure many of you also do that. We have society networks, we have alumni networks, we have so many networks, and typically that's how we work. And one of my friends who's a placement consultant says that the last position that comes is to the placement consultant. First, the person who is hiring will put it out in his network, then he'll put out in some other networks, and then LinkedIn, and then last it will come to the placement consultant. So if you are looking to transition on your career and you're dependent on placement consultants, just understand that it's only 5 to 10% of the opportunities which may be coming to you. Rest 80-90% would have gone in the network. So if you're networking, not networking, you're putting your career at a serious jeopardy. One more thing about networking and building connections I would like to share with you is the emotional bank account. The infinite power of understanding your own emotions and understanding the emotions of other people. This is not manipulation. This is understanding what is it that is important for the other person and then doing that, whether you call it random act of kindness or whatever. But understanding what is important to that person and doing it. Understand emotional bank account like we understand a bank account. If I have a bank account which is denominated in rupees in say HDFC Bank, if I go and put dollars in it, they will not accept it, even though dollar may be far more valuable. That is why if some person likes something else and you do something else for him, he's not going to appreciate it. And then you may be thinking, oh, मैं तो इतना कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो इतना कर रही हूँ, वो appreciate ही नहीं करता, क्योंकि जो उसको चाहिए वो आप नहीं कर रहे हो. So understanding what the other person wants and doing that is the right currency, right deposit, and then you flourish. And a lot of people come to me. I don't have any influence at my workplace. People don't listen to me. I don't tell them upfront, but I, in my own mind, know that they haven't taken time to invest in their relationships. Whether it is meeting over coffee or meeting over lunch or whatever you want to do, you need to constantly work on investing in your relationships. And stronger your relationships are, the better off you will be. It helps, it opens up opportunities, it gives you references, you can reach out to people for advice, collaboration opportunities open up, and it also helps you deal with politics in the organization. When you are networked very strongly, you are much better equipped to deal with the politics in the organization. People say, I am very simple, I can't handle politics. All that is BS. If you are invested in relationships, you will be able to navigate your situation in the corporate minefield. Not very difficult, but we discuss this more in the workshop that we put together. And if you're thinking that I am highly intelligent, I am a topper, I am this, I am that, but if you're not networking, if you're not investing in relationships, sooner or later, your career will stagnate. That is almost a guarantee. So you need this trinity. This Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga is a trinity which you need to go ahead in your career. Think about it. That is why we have Saraswati and Lakshmi, shown together in many pictures, because knowledge leads to money. If you have knowledge, you will make money. If you have money, you can make knowledge, and then you need relationships, to for the opportunities to come your way. So all of these three have to be worked upon. This is a system I have learned by observing many senior people. I have used it myself and I regularly share in my coaching sessions, for which I charge hundreds of dollars. So this is a very proven formula. And in this session on the Durga, which is building social capital, we talk about what is emotional quotient, why it is important, what are the components of emotional quotient, the importance of networking for career growth and opportunities, different types of networks, how to build solid professional network, how to be socially resilient, and how to build a life outside of work. Your hobbies, community engagement, social causes, volunteering, all of this is very important. And last but not the least, understanding in depth about emotional bank account and how to milk it for your advantage, how to do those acts of kindness which will help you go far in your life. This is not political stuff. This is genuine human connection to human connection. And this has to be a strategy. You're not doing this to derive any advantage. You are doing this because this is your way of operating. And then when you need, many people come to me when they are in trouble. And there is actually very little you can do at that time, because a lot of this is preventive in nature. If you have done this in place, the troubles will not come. So that is what the LSD is about. And as I shared earlier, all the three need to happen. If you miss one of them, like those who are from IT will understand 0 and 1. If you have not missed any one of them, it's 0. The condition for success is not met. You need to do all the three together. So if you're sick and tired of being stagnant and want to accelerate your personal growth, if you are open to trying new techniques, using new language, if you seek financial security, you want to be recognized as a thought leader or influencer, you should invest in the LSD program and take your career to a new high in 2025. Warren Buffett says the more you learn, the more you will earn. And the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. So in 2025, uh, decide to invest in yourself and reap infinite benefits. Accelerate your success. You may be all going at 10, 20, 30, 40 speed. If that is okay with you, then it's okay for you to leave the session now and go back to doing what you were doing earlier. But if you want to accelerate your success in 2025 and go fast, then invest in this program. And it's best to invest in the program with someone who has been practicing this. The stuff for this, the content for this program does not come from the Google search that I have done. This comes from my practice, from what I have observed from senior people, what is worked for my hundreds of my coaching clients. So that is the stuff that comes to you distilled from these, they're distilled and tested from many of my experience. And this investment, which is a very normal investment, will pay for itself many times over. There is two types of investment that you need to make. One is investment in money and one is investment in time. Being a corporate professional myself, I am very conscious that whatever time and money you invest, I need to deliver a solid return on investment. Otherwise, I'm not successful as a trainer and a coach. So that investment of time that is involved is 4 sessions of 1.5 hours each. That is 6 hours on Sundays starting 19th January, 19th, 26th January, and 2nd and 9th February, 90 minutes each. That's the time investment that is required. And the fees is a very nominal 3,999 rupees for these 4 sessions. And the content for this is unique. You will not find it anywhere because this is not a program which is being offered anywhere else. And you can decide to join this program and you can remit the fees using scanning this QR code or doing a Google Pay on this number. And share a screenshot with us so that we can welcome you into the program. There are very few seats that we have open, so act fast and take advantage of this. The sessions will be on Zoom and they will be recording. So in case you miss any session, you can always watch the recording later. And this is a program which is rich in resources. You will have participant workbooks, case studies, assignments, exercises, handouts, and links to reference material. And you will get a very attractive mindful living certificate of completion. Our 2025 learning calendar is out, and we don't have this workshop scheduled again in 2025. The next one would be in 2026. So you got to watch out. And what I shared with you earlier was investment. And if you would like to have smart investment, you go for package with 1 coaching session or with 5 coaching sessions, because the coaching sessions will help you implement. There will be customized inputs to implement the learnings from this program into your life. And so you might be wondering what is SLP in case you are attending our session for the first time. And taking on the concept of SIP, we have made SLP, which is a systematic learning plan, deciding in advance what you're going to do in 2025. Like in SIP, we decide in advance that 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, whatever the amount is, this is what is going to get invested, and the balance is what I'm going to spend. And it gets decided in advance what are the stocks, what are the mutual funds you're going to invest in. The same way, we have put out a menu for you. This is what you're going to get into the SLP. LSD is the first program we are kicking off with, which will be 4 sessions. Then the next one is Psychology of Success. Tony Robbins, who is one of the foremost thinkers in the world, routinely listed in the top 100 thinkers of the world, says that success is 80% psychology. So what is the psychology of success? How to identify our strengths, what are our weaknesses, how to deal with that, what are our empowering beliefs, what are our limiting beliefs, how to identify that. That's what we do in the psychology of success, 4 sessions. Then next one, we have stress to smiles, then becoming a trailblazing leader, and magical success rituals. Trailblazing Leaders is a very powerful 8 session program, which is about personal leadership and leadership at organizational level. Magical success rituals, something which has taken my life to a completely different level. How the magical success rituals can help you get effortless success is what this program is about. Then the magic of gratitude, which transformed my life. Mindfulness is Swiss knife for corporate professionals. Like once you have a Swiss knife, you can deal with pretty much anything at home, whether you want to screw something, uncork something, or, clip your nails or cut something, all of that can be done very easily with Swiss knife. Same way, using mindfulness, you can deal with any of the challenges that you're facing in your personal and professional life. And then the Millionaire Blueprint. This program, in a way, is dedicated to Ronald Red, who was a janitor in USA, and he was no ordinary janitor because he was a millionaire. And how they found out he's a millionaire? Because when he passed away, they read his will, and they found that he has donated $1 million to the library where he used to go and study. And what he used to study, he used that knowledge to invest in stock markets and became a multi-millionaire. Think about this: a janitor who invests in his own learning becomes a multi-millionaire, and nobody knew about it because his lifestyle remained simple. And then when he passed away, he donated $1 million. He had many more. He donated 1 million. Many of us would not have $1 million, but he donated $1 million. Think about how much money he would have made. And you can Google on it, Ronald Reed, Read. So that is what the Millionaire Blueprint is about. How by saving simple money, sometimes we just throw away money thinking that it will not have impact. How by It's not by cutting your flesh. I'm not saying that you cut yourself up, save that money, go hungry, nothing like that. Simple changes to your lifestyle. How can you create a $1 million corpus for yourself? That is what the Millionaire Blueprint is about, and the goal setting program. So we finished 2025 with a goal setting workshop in December, which will help you plan for a solid 2026. So that's the program that we have put together, popularly known as the SLP. And the SLP comes with coaching. And sometimes I get asked this question: who is coaching? Who should go for coaching? So coaching is for anybody who is wanting to play big in life. Who cares for his family, who realizes that there is more to me, and they want to grow in their lives. So if you believe in yourself, want to grow in your life, you should opt for coaching. The one-to-one coaching, these are personalized one-to-one coaching sessions in which we typically start by setting a career vision for yourself. Many a times we are not clear what we want, and this is one of the first things I help people get clarity about what they want. And this is a living document, so you can keep changing it, but at least start with something, and then create a success blueprint, like how an architect create a blueprint before he lays the first brick. How to create a blueprint for your success. Identify your values, identify your strengths. So many people come to me crying, I have got this weakness, I can't do this, I can't do that. They're focused on their own weakness, they're focused on the weakness of the other people. Instead, I help them understand what their strengths are, look at the strengths of other people, and there is magic that happens when you focus on your strengths and the strengths of other people. Understanding limiting beliefs, understanding what is the obstacle to your growth, and how you can use your obstacles as stepping stone to your growth rather than become a roadblock. And then understanding with all this material, we help create a career progression strategy and make an action plan, which is a map for growing future, going ahead. And this is what we do. Typically, the duration of each coaching session is about an hour. And typically, we do one session a month because there is a lot of work that needs to be done in between the sessions. So this is the normal pace. So that is what we do in coaching sessions. And for those who take action, we have a special offer today because I love action takers. And those who sign up with package A, sorry, this is package A, which is 3,999. You get a book, my book, which I have published, a personally signed copy of that. This has got great reviews on Amazon, all 5-star ratings, all organic, and so this is something that you receive. And those who sign up for the coaching package, they get this hoodie, which is Mindful Living branded, and this is cold in many parts of India. So this will help you keep yourself cozy. So this is if you sign up for package B, which is SLP with 1 coaching, or package C, which is SLP with 5 coaching packages. SLP is Systematic Learning Plan. You become eligible for this hoodie. And some of you who are in the session today have already signed up for SLP program, and maybe I'll invite you to share your experience with mindful living. And you can do that. Yeah, you can join by scanning this QR code or doing the Google Pay. And you become a part of the very vibrant mindful living community, um, which has got many high achievers, people who have featured in Harvard Business Review case studies, who are independent directors, who have grown their business 1000x, who are doing great value to the society. So these are the people you are a part of the community. And if you remember, I said that earlier, one of the quotes that motivates me is what you will be 5 years from now is the books you read and the people you are with. So this community, you associate with such people who are, great achievers, great contributors who are living consciously. So if achieving high position and increasing your personal and family well-being is the priority, go ahead and book your seat in this program. You can do that by paying a price of only 999 rupees. You can reserve your seat by paying 999 rupees and avail of the offer that we have. And the balance you can remit before the program starts. So that's the special offer we have for you today, which you can scan this QR code or GPay. And in case you would like to make an online transfer, in case you're out of India, these are our bank particulars. Once again, sharing the dates of the session, 4 sessions of LSD on Sundays starting 19th of January, 19, 26, 2nd and 9th, 19th and 26 January, 2nd and 9th February. Duration is 90 minutes from 9 to 10:30 a.m. So if you believe in yourself, then I would urge you to go ahead and invest in this program. Lot many times we put our family ahead of us, we put our work ahead of us, we put somebody else ahead of us, but we don't put ourselves ahead of anything else. I would urge you to put yourself first and invest in your learning. Invest in systematic learning plan so that you can take better care of those who are around you, not for selfish reasons, but because you can take better care of yourselves. Because once you invest in this program, your life will go into a new orbit. That is my promise to you. You will have great success in your career, financial success, and a fulfilling life. So for last time, sharing the details of the program with you once again. For the LSD program, 4 sessions for 3,999. And if you want to go for SLP Systematic Learning Plan with 1 coaching session, it's 9,630. And the total value of those sessions, all the 9 sessions that we have, is over 40,000 rupees, which is coming to you for a song for 9,630 rupees. And with 5 coaching sessions, the total value of the package is over 80,000 rupees, which is coming to you for 19,630 rupees. And you can scan this code and remit the fees, share the screenshot with us, and you will get this very attractive mindful living workbook so that you can use this workbook um, for this is for those who sign up for the SLP. So you have one book on which you can take your entire notes. So at the you can always look back and cross reference what you learned in LSD, what you're learning in TPOS, what you're learning in STOS. It can all be in one place. as I mentioned earlier, we already have few people who have signed up, and they are there on this call also. So we have limited seats only remaining, so that we can deliver quality to you. I wish I had known about these concepts when I started my career. That would have been the best, but the next best time to learn this is today. So don't worry if you have not done it earlier. Take that decision now. Invest 999 rupees. Start by investing 999 rupees, and the balance you can pay as we go along before the start of the session. So take the first step towards a thriving career, towards a fulfilling life, and take your life into a completely new orbit. On that note, I will open up the session to comments and question and answers. Anjana is here. Anjana, would you like to share about your experience and your decision to go with SLP package B?
Sure.
Yeah.
So again, hi, hello to everybody. I think I've known Ashish for very many long years. This new association came about, like Ashish said, during COVID, and it's been interesting to see the journey of mindful living and what it's been doing, starting from um, things focused to calming a person's mind to actually now looking at helping people build their own careers or their own lives, or guide them with that. The last 2 years have been uh, doing a lot of the courses with Ashish, also the coaching plans. The first year was a little sporadic. Then I realized that the little that I did with him was somewhere helping me, guiding me. It was, and I got very, very neutral, but um, conducive, or it's not supportive to me, but the right views. Because sometimes when we are thinking of a particular situation or doing something, it's more with our pains and thoughts in mind, and it gets distorted. And then I realized that by the end of last year, at least in the last 2 months, I had signed up for so many of the courses that I told Ashish, I said, I'm meeting you Sunday morning, Sunday evening. I think, can we take a break? Okay. And then I said, like, I would just like you to put a module together so that I know what I want to do for the year, and I just sign up, and I'm not really worried about coming for understanding what is there to offer. Give me a learning calendar so that I don't have to meet you 3 times a day, but I can just meet you like once a day. And um, very frankly, the positive impact it has on me as a person and my career, and what I can give out to the world, right, has made me like just take this decision that I'll do the entire learning module rather than do it in bits and pieces, because you never know which small uh, portion of a particular module will help you in another module. So it's like going through class. You do all the subjects.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Anjana. Very
Thank
powerful.
you.
Thank you for being with us
And
on.
also one thing I can tell you is, financially, when I put the math together of what I paid for every class and what is being offered here, believe me, this is a steal.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That is the intention. We want to make it a no-brainer for you, so that you can go ahead, invest in your learning, and become better version of yourselves. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anjana.
Thank you, Ashish, and thank you for putting together the package and the particular cost to the package.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah. Any questions or comments anybody would like to share? Your takeaways, any queries you have? Anything you would like to clarify? Okay, if there are no more questions or comments, we will draw the session to a close. Thank you very much for taking out time and joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend and a great week ahead. The very best for 2025. Thank you. Thank you.